Hey guys, so I am going to be doing a get to know me video with this graphic liner look. So I'm going to be doing a video on this look and a get to know me, so stay tuned. Hey, let's get started. So sorry if you hear my cat. He's only a baby and he's been meowing non-stop recently. Like, I think he's finally found his voice. So, because when we first got him, he was not meowing at all. So, he's finally meowing a lot, continuously. He doesn't want anything. Like, I don't know, he doesn't want anything. Okay, so I am gonna start my makeup and I will start talking about me. I'm just gonna put this in. Okay, let me tell you what I'm using first. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild foundation. It's a little bit too dark for me because obviously I am very white right now, thanks to being in a lockdown for the second time anyway. So I'm going to be using some just Revolution concealer and I'm just going to be mixing them together and creating my shade. I was born on the 2nd of June in 1999, so that makes me 21 years old. I am a Gemini. I am a Gemini sun, I am a Capricorn moon, and I am a Taurus rising. I've got a very big birth chart, but I'm not gonna spill the beans on my birth chart yet, but yeah. So I was born on that day in Watford. I am the firstborn. I have a young brother and a younger sister. They came 3 years and then 6 years after me. So we are all quite close because we are all quite the same age. But yeah, so I live my life in Hertfordshire, in Watford. I won't say my exact area because I do not want stalkers. So I lived my life there. I grew up there. Had a lot of family around me. Yeah. There's nothing much to say about my me as a child. Like, I was a very hyperactive kid. Very hyperactive, but obviously I will talk more about that further along we get down. I wouldn't sleep, I just wouldn't do anything that I didn't want to, pretty much. So obviously, you know, firstborn, it was like very hard for my mum and dad. Back on to the next couple of years. So I went to primary school and I never really, well, I had friends, but I always found it very hard to make friends. It was always a big struggle for me. I'm not sure why when I was younger. I couldn't really tell you because I don't even know why now, but I just always found it very hard to make friends. So that was my childhood. So I found it very hard as a kid, talking to people and stuff like that. The teachers would always say that there was something wrong with me, so I needed to get tested for a lot of things like autism and what was the other thing? Epilepsy, which was stupid to us because there was, like, I had no reason to think that I had epilepsy, so my parents thought that was such a waste of time. You know, it took a long time. Well, it was obvious that I obviously was a child that has ADHD, and it's very common for girls to get misdiagnosed or to not get diagnosed. Like, they, especially when I was younger compared to now, they really did not care about girls that would have ADHD, and that was very hard, especially for my parents and stuff, because they didn't really know what to do with me. So we never got that closure. on that ever. So I was just the misbehaved child from the bad area, you know, because I went to a nice, well, nice-ish primary school in a nicer area compared to where I live. I moved forward to the next year, secondary school. My parents decided to get me tested my parents decided to get me tested for dyslexia, because I found it very hard to learn and stuff, and I think it's like 95% of people with ADHD have dyslexia. So I got tested for that, and yes, I am dyslexic. That's why sometimes it's very hard for me to speak and make sentences and stuff like that make sense. Like I don't finish words, or I just make up words, or make my own word and stuff like that. So yeah, that was kind of like a brighter side for me and my family to finally think like, oh, like we finally got something. But again, I didn't have a very good time in school. I was bullied quite a lot. It was just not a nice experience for me. It was very hard for my parents, and yeah, it was not nice. But I do not hold anything towards anyone that went to that school that did any of that stuff, you know. It is what it is. So I started to go down to a bad route. I started to go out late when I wasn't meant to. I started doing things at a young age when I wasn't meant to. Yeah, it was just a very difficult time for me to deal with who I was. Like, I didn't know who I was, and it just struck me very badly. It was just, I just couldn't deal with myself. I fell into a very deep depression and like anxiety. And obviously, since I was younger, and obviously they didn't know what was wrong with me and stuff, I had been seeing like a psychiatrist since the age of 11. So yeah, I have been seeing that. So I was in them sessions, but obviously I didn't want help. I didn't want to do anything. I was just a very, very depressed kid. Like, I was very, very hurt and tired, and I just didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Like, I just didn't want to have a life, you know? And this is very hard for me to open up about all this stuff. It's like a very deep thing to me, but I am healed now and I've moved on from that stuff, so I will move on from that topic. So it got to the end of the year, year 11. If Americans don't know what that is, that's the last year before you go off to college or whatever. So I was 16, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have any GCSEs. I have two GCSEs. Yeah, so I had two GCSEs. I didn't want to go to uni. I didn't know what I wanted to do with myself, with life, with anything. And at that stage, I was still feeling so horrible about myself and about everything. But then I saw like, I've always loved to do makeup. I've always loved anything to do with art. So I went down the route of doing theatrical and media makeup at college. Because I don't know if it's the same in the US or any other country, but when you leave school at 16, you have to either be an apprentice or college or uni. You have to be in one of them. You can't leave education until you're 18. So yeah, I was doing that. So yeah, I was in college. I was still very depressed and stuff. I was in a very, 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 very toxic relationship, like very bad. It was not a great time in my life. Like, I wasn't getting along with my parents. I just wasn't listening to my parents. I didn't think anyone cared about me except for this one person. So yeah, I literally nearly destroyed my whole entire life. And then after that, I got into another relationship where it wasn't too bad at a time in my life, but you know, it wasn't the happiest relationship I'd been at. Like, well, it wasn't a happy relationship ever. So yeah, that was destroying me. I finally got a job. I was just doing waitressing. And then yeah, and then when I was at that job, I wanted to change something in my life. I was finally feeling like I wanted to leave this relationship. I wanted to move on. I wanted to do something with my life. I was doing makeup on the side a bit, but I didn't have that passion and strength. So, and then I met this one person at my work. I won't name them just because they might not want to be named, but it was a girl. I met her and she literally turned over my life, like, completely. I've always been very strong into astrology and stuff, but I didn't really do much about it because obviously I was very depressed and stuff like that, and I just didn't want to. When I met this girl, she was very spiritual, very all this, very travel-y and everything, and it really changed my view on things. I finally left that relationship. I was single for a while. I was starting to do my makeup more, starting to do videos more, and yeah, like, I actually felt very happy in myself. I still dealt with a lot of anxiety, but that was my thing that I was dealing with, and I'm still dealing with it now. It's very hard to get rid of. Like, you can never really get rid of it. You just learn how to cope with it. Yeah. And yeah, I was very happy at the time. At the time, I'm still happy now, but I finally become happy. From anyone that's dealt with like depression or stuff like that, like, you can vouch for the fact that it is very hard to come out of the place where you're so low. But I realised that the only place that I could have gone was up, you know, and I'm glad that, you know, I had someone there for me. So if you ever feel low and stuff, then, you know, the best thing to do is to have people around you, because they are the ones that can bring you out of something so deep. But obviously yourself as well, you have to want to, because I feel like when I was younger, I didn't want to get out this feeling, you know, because I was so consumed by it. I thought this was the only thing that I could have felt. But yeah, and yeah, I was pursuing the arts of astrology, and I was finally learning who I am and what I am, you know, and what I'm here to do. So I was very, very happy. So yeah, that's what happened. And then flash forward. So I was very happy, and my current boyfriend now, he joined, and yeah, I didn't want a relationship. I didn't want to be with anyone. So yeah, and I was refusing to acknowledge the fact that I had feelings for him, which was so funny. But yeah, and then the rest is history. We ended up finally deciding to be together, and yeah, and I have never been happier in my whole entire life. Like, I have met someone that treats me like a goddess, you know, and that's it. And then he moved in. I bought a kitten. I'll show you him at the end. He's just asleep. That's my story. And you know, I still do have off days and stuff, but I will learn and I will move on from it. But now we are finally on the graphic liner, so I can finally show you what I'm gonna do. So firstly, I'm just gonna draw a small line across my whole lid. like so. Then I'm just gonna wing that out. So once you've done this, bring the edge of this up and round. Make sure it's a thin line. Well, you can do a thick line if you want. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little cat eye, and then we should be done. I'm just going to tidy this up and then I'll be back. Hi guys, so this is the final look. So let me know what you think. Thank you for listening with my get to know me. This was so much fun and I'm glad that I've done another video again. But yeah, I'll show you my cat. So this is my baby. Look, he's hungry. So that's my baby. His name is Shiro, but it's actually Shiro in Japanese. But we decided to call him Shiro because of the uncle I wrote on Avatar, from Avatar. So yeah. But thank you so much for joining me. Hit subscribe, like, follow, comment, do everything. I would be grateful. But thank you so much and I'll see you guys later.